Greetings to our viewers and listeners of Fish River Cree Nation membership, both on and off reserve, and welcome to our friends listening in as well. My name is Shirley Cochrane. I have been your electoral officer for this 2021 general election. This evening we are here for the Fish River Cree Nation election for Chief and Council Candidates Forum speeches. Due to the limited amount of individuals we could have indoors, it had been decided that the candidates pre-record their speeches. The broadcast will be today at 6 p.m. It'll be where to watch and listen is the Fish River Cree Nation Facebook page, Fish River Cree Nation YouTube channel, and Cree Nation Radio 103.5 FM, available on fishriver.ca and the mobile app. Also, a reminder, we are going to be conducting an off-reserve one-day poll station at the Canada in Polo Park, Ambassador M Room, 1405 St. Matthews Avenue in Winnipeg, this Friday, August 20th, 2021, from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Masks are mandatory when entering, and this is going to be for the election of the Chief and Council positions, and we will be back here in the Community Hall on Monday, August 23rd, 2021, from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. To obtain further information, you can call myself at 204-645-2171. And I want to wish all the candidates good luck this evening as they present their platforms to the membership this evening. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. My name is Marlowe Cochrane. I am a candidate for Chief for Fish River Cree Nation. I would like to thank my nominator, Leslie McKay, and our seconder, Willie Travers. For myself, I come from a family of 5. My goal is to, as running for a chief, mine is to, I believe in accountability, transparency, and I will be letting the people know, open the books and let them know our finances as a community. Also, I would like to work with Junior Chief and Council, our future leaders. They'll be traveling with us, and I'll be a spokesperson for the youth. Also looking at some people that's 18 plus to hear their concerns. Also with our elders. I'd like to start up things for our elders, better home care, and also I'd like to start Meals on Wheels for them. And also for our community, I'd like to start a trade school from grade 10 to grade 12 to learn the trades. We have a lot of resources in our community that we can utilize, and if you want, they'll help out if we get a new government. Also, we have a lot of people from outside of the community, 264 band members that I would like to work with off reserve to look at their needs also. I also like to set up a steering committee that involves people in the community. Instead of just Chief and Council making decisions, the community will have a say in everything. I would look forward to be a leader in your community. We'll strive for more things. Also, we gotta heal as a community, body, mind, and spirit. We have to look at everything with our youth and the elders. We have an awesome team that I want to work with, people that's off the community, to give advice to start things in our community here. As we move ahead in our community, we want to set a plan, for our community. I would like to talk to people as in our steering committee to, get advice. Our elders, even our care home in our homes. I want to bring back those old values back in a day where leadership got involved in the whole community. And we had our knowledge keepers passing their knowledge on for free. That's what I want to push. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Wish all the other candidates the best. As my slogan says, it takes a community to make a difference. Let's do it together as one. So on August 23rd, vote Marlowe for chief. For every generation can benefit. There's so much things that I like to say, but for our vision for our community, but I'll be putting it on my Facebook page, my dreams, my goals. Let's bring our community closer together. Willing, thank you for listening.
Nancy, and just want to say hello to all our Fish River Cree Nation members, on reserve and off reserve. My name is David Crate. I'm running for the office of Chief for the Fish River Cree Nation. I've been serving as Chief for the community for 18 years, and it's been an honor and privilege to do that on behalf of the members. We have accomplished a lot in the last 2 years here in the community. We have some of the highlights I want to share with you is we settled a specific claim that was with Canada since the early 90s. And we finally were able to settle that claim, and it gave the community a settlement of $15 million, just over $15 million. And the trust for those funds are now set up, and we're going to start seeing benefits back to the community in the years to come. I also want to acknowledge all our day school and residential school survivors, and to let you know also that we're working here in the community with a group of members that have volunteered to assist in the area of day schools and residential schools. It's something that's going to always be a part of our history as we move forward, and we have to acknowledge all the members that were impacted by those schools. I want to let the membership know also that a lot of work has taken place as part of our planning for the community in the area of economic development. We have a fairly aggressive plan on bringing more business entities into the community. We're hoping that our members also will get more involved in business development. There's a lot of benefits, employment, but also the revenue generation for the community. It's something I've focused on for a number of years, on building our business entities in the community, because it's services that we really need here locally, but also it provides good employment for our members. One of the things I want to bring back to the leadership table also over the next couple of years, if I'm re-elected, I want to look at raising the rate of pay for our members here in the community. I tabled it earlier this year, but was unsuccessful in getting support, but I'm going to bring it back. I believe that we need to have our hourly rate for our members raised to a minimum of $15 an hour. I think it would help with job retention for our organizations, but it would also provide, in particular, our single people a good income, and in even the single parents, the families, it would help them raising their children with a good income. I want to also focus on infrastructure development for the community. I want to focus on having more water sewer for the community. It's another area that we're lacking. Even though we have central services in the main part of the community, we need to start focusing on bringing those services to all members that live on the main reserve. I want to also acknowledge our elders and the working group that have been working for the last few years on the CFS Act that we've developed. Thank you for your input and guidance on that. Every month we meet with knowledge keepers in our community, and they're valuable to us in providing us a lot of the history of our community, but also on guiding us as we move forward in the area of CFS and other areas. It's important to have that from our elders to help us as we formulate policy and other things that are needed for the community. I also want to acknowledge our youth in the community that are being very active. One of the things we'd like to do, of course, with the input from the youth is get more direction on what else is needed in the community. Our community has a lot of services and programs for youth right now, but it's always good to continue that discussion with our youth on providing more for the community. Some of the other areas I want to focus on over the next year is more recreational space, I'll call it, in the community. Besides playground structures, I want to focus on developing a small water park for the community, for the kids for the summer. I want to look at more recreational space development. We've done some major upgrades on our arena complex this summer to, for example, with our bowling alley being rebuilt, and that's going to be made available. The point is we need more recreational activities for our youth in the community, and that's going to be part of my focus over the next couple of years. I also want to look at economic development off reserve. I want to create more businesses off reserve that will be revenue generation for our members, all members of the Fisher River Cree Nation. I think with our land claim settlement, one of the main things we were able to do with that, there's no restrictions on where we can purchase land or businesses, and I think that's something we really have to do. I stated publicly quite a few years ago that our main goal was to create revenue for our members so that we could do more here locally. Housing is another big area that we really have to focus on. Building a few units a year just doesn't keep pace with our population growth here in our community, and we really need to focus on coming in with new ideas on how we could build more units for the members. There's different types of units that are needed here locally. We have an aging population also. We need to focus on housing for our elders in the community, more 55+ units, and possible expansion of our PCH in the near future. I want to thank the members also for your continued support and guidance over the last few years since I took on a leadership role. It's really important, and I am very honored to serve the people of the Fisher River Cree Nation. I want to let the members also know too that I always focus on the positive aspects of leadership. I don't dwell on any negative things that we encounter. I always try to push past it and try to work together. I want to also tell you that with the future for our community, I believe it looks bright, and we'll continue to call on our members to provide us guidance and support, as we move forward on these different initiatives. I want to close, and I just want to thank the membership again for your continued support. I want to also acknowledge the people that have worked for our community, the government of Fisher River, all our administrators and our board. I want to thank you for all the work that you do for us. And I want to Also acknowledge Stella Walker and Noreen Hint for putting forward my name again for the position of Chief Egazani.
Good evening, elders, knowledge keepers, community members, and fellow candidates. I want to thank you all who are taking this time this evening to listen to the speeches through the radio and online. I would also like to thank my nominator and seconder. I am honored and grateful to speak to you all. I would like to recognize the community members who have been so inviting during the campaign. The pandemic has posed the challenge of being able to sit and visit to share my ideas. I also want to acknowledge the current Chief and Council members, administrators from all the programs and entities for the work done in keeping our community safe. I am honored and humbled as a candidate for council and to take on this critical opportunity to serve the community. I want to share this point. I am not running against other candidates. In fact, I wish each candidate well in their respective campaigns. I am vying for a seat to be at the table, to share my ideas, to be a voice that will hopefully advance our community, which in turn would earn respect and trust through the results delivered. I want to reassure you that I am determined to continue the tremendous momentum that is already underway. One thing I have realized in this campaign, it is not just about creating jobs and building structures, but it's about creating happiness, independence, peace of mind, and above all, hope for our people. I intend to work in partnership with you to build on what has been achieved in the last 2 years. This is not the time to stop or slow down. This is the time to demonstrate our ability in getting things done when we work together. I believe things work better when we find common ground. I have shared my campaign brochure, which outlines 4 key areas that I feel are important for our community to continue to prosper, and they include fiscal responsibility and stronger economy, member-focused government and service improvements, advocating for community needs and community safety. By working together, significant progress can be made in 5 priority areas, including education, healthcare, child and family services, infrastructure, and economic development. We all know that much remains to be done to close socio-economic gaps, improve service delivery, and improve the lives of our people both on and off reserve. Fisher River Cree Nation has the reputation of being progressive and solutions-focused, and by leading the way on things like First Nations land management, experience First Nations jurisdiction over child and family services, First Nations control over education, and administering 10-year grants. We need to continue on this path. In closing, I will do my best to ensure our community has the resources we need going forward. I am ready for the task at hand if I am elected. I am here to listen to your thoughts and ideas. I hope to build strong, respectful relationships with you. I look forward to understanding our shared priorities and working together to implement solutions that benefit our community. On August 23rd, I am asking you to vote for positive change by voting for me, Jeanette Amos, Egazani.
Cancer. Chochokiseo Mukiseo Squeo, Metisanagasson. My Western name is Kailey Arthurson. My parents are Marcy Sinclair and deceased Trevor Arthurson. My grandparents are Sarah Sinclair and Joe Tomato Sinclair. And my grandparents, my dad's side, are Solana and Walter Arthurson from Grand Rapids and Norton House. And I am also from Dauphin River. And I am 25 years old. I have my Bachelor of Arts degree. And I am a mother in the community. I have a 4-year-old daughter, Nippy Pamatasiwan. And I'm also a jingle dress healer. I've been dancing since I was 4 years old in the community, I think, at the first powwow in 2000, and I give credits to Ada Wilson for helping my mom to do that. And I am here today to talk about my campaign for the 2021 elections in Fish River. And so everybody knows that I'm about housing and equality. I think we should have equal opportunity for everyone and to have access to the programs and the opportunities within the community, and also to have awareness. I would like to offer the home ownership program to off-reserve members, because I know buying your own home is a lot, and that's the least that our community can do to help people to do that. And you also need to go to the bank to do that, so I would also like to offer financial literacy programs for community members to learn about these programs. And I would also like to get involved with the Urban Reserve for housing and for economic development. And I would like to work alongside Norrie House. They have been doing well in the areas of housing and sports. I think we could learn a lot from them. And I love how they have the York boats just ready and available for people to use at all hours of the day and night. And that is a positive aspect on their health. And I think we need more access to holistic health. So for spirituality, we need more land-based healing. And I would also like to make opportunities for off-reserve members to come into the community to learn about their heritage and where they come from and the medicines we carry. And I would really like to bring back the Cree language within the community and to bring extracurricular activities back into the school, weekly groups like Koyask. That was something that really kept us busy in a good way when we were younger. And the music room I would really love to have filled with fiddles and hand drums and guitars and everything for the youth to utilize, but also for the community, not just for the students, because I think as a community we could all benefit from positive changes. And having a splash pad and having more community events is really important. And having social gatherings with other communities, working alongside them. I know Frontier School Division has, in the winters, they have a fiddle gathering that they invite other schools and stuff like that for our students to learn from other schools and to network and to foster their skills and to go out to the world and to give back their gifts and their skills whatever that may be. And I, as a leader, would like to help every community member find their gifts and their healing. And I like to support community members to establish and to maintain their businesses in and out of the community. I would like more prenatal services and just to make everything more culturally relevant, more culturally sensitive. I know we've been doing great already as a community, and I'd like to give credits to the past leaders, to David Rundle for bringing us down from Norrie House on York boats about 140 years ago, and to the past chief and councils for bringing our community to be as beautiful as it is today. And I would like to maintain that as a leader and to have a more of an inclusive environment for everyone to thrive and succeed in. And I think to do that as a leader, we need to volunteer. So I would not only like to have an open door policy, but to be in the community after hours helping out, because that's what we need is we need people there giving back and helping out in whichever way they could. And I am sober for 5 years this month, so I've been focusing on my healing journey and my education. And I spent some years at the University of Manitoba, so I've learned a lot in the Western institutions, and I would like to bring that to the community and help incorporate our ways and the Western ways to make our community even better for everybody. And I would like to work together for Ochekwi to be a great community for us all to thrive and succeed in. And yeah, those are just some of my ideas, and I would like spiritual days off for employees to be able to access ceremonies, and for funding to be available through sports and rec for cultural events, because we know that it isn't just sports, but also to have more programs for people who do access sports to be able to travel to where they need to go and to get to those places that they need to be in life, because our people are very skilled and knowledgeable. So they need a lot of support to get out into the world and to do these great things. And I, as a leader, would like to be there for the community and to do that and to be there for everyone. Yeah, and that's what I have to say today. So thank you all for listening to me, and good luck to the other candidates. And I wish you all, I hope you all have a good day and a good rest of your summer. And I hope everyone has a good, productive fall. And I wish all the best to all the students who are back to school and all the workers. And yeah, for all the people who help keep our community as fantastic as it is. It's a real honor to be a part of this community and to be in this role running for candidacy. So I'd like to thank everyone for their continued support. And if anybody has any questions or concerns, feel free to reach out to me, or if you need a ride on election day. Ega sana.
Okay, good morning. First of all, I want to thank the Creator for another wonderful day today, and the blessings that we have within our community that was always given to us from our elders and taught to us. I want to say a big thank you to our Creator for blessing us, And I also want to say thank you to my nominator, Norman Stagg, and my seconder, Ellen McKay. And then I also want to thank the community, and then for the last 2 years of support that they have given me as one of the council members here in the community. And I ask again for your continued support for the next 2 years in seeking this re-election for the next 2 years. Also, I just want to make mention, I want to thank the Knowledge Keepers. We meet monthly with the Knowledge Keepers and discuss various issues and things that are happening in the community, and then they offer their wisdom to us, and then we follow, and we thank them very much for that. Also, the monthly meetings with our directors and our entities, I think it's important that sharing of information like that and assisting and helping one another, because it takes the whole community to run the community. And I just want to say thank you to all the directors and the community members in whole. During this pandemic time, it was very difficult, but we still managed to push through and continue on. Again, I just want to say thank you to all the frontline workers, the health and our pandemic team and our community again for coming together at a difficult time like this. I know it's very hard. It's been about 15 months or so that we had to go through this time, and then when we pulled together, and then we could get through things. Some of the things I just wanted to mention is, a part of our community. We have a wonderful community here in Fisher River, and I'm proud to be one of the Fisher River band members here. Together, the community came together and come up with a community plan. There's quite a bit of projects that have been happening in the last number of years and continuing on from the way back. There's always the community plan is kind of a roadmap for Fisher River, which is looked at by council and directors, and then we move forward in those areas. Some of the things I want to mention is infrastructure, like the road work. I think we got 2 more roads after this. We did get approval from the provincial and federal government for full funding to do the road on the south side, going from the graveyard down to the landfill past Glenda Crates. So that's very grateful. And then we continue pushing and lobbying government for these funds. Also, we also did a submission for rapid housing. I know last year we never received anything, but hopefully this year we can. There's a whole number of things like elders units, disability units, tiny houses, family homes, and elderly homes that were submitted. So with that, and then we're also looking at green energy, more green energy projects within the community. One is phase 2 on the solar farm, and also with the reconciliation agreement, we continue pushing and meeting with the elders, and I know there's a group here that meet with the elders, the community, the youth, and just let them continue going. Also, our specific claim has been over 30 plus years that came to existence, and twice it was denied, and now today we are able to move forward. And then right now what they're doing is they're setting up the trust to look at handling the specific claim trust for Fish River. I also believe more youth programming, and I continue promoting and then also trying to work as much as I can with the youth, and then also volunteering throughout the community all year long, and I enjoy that. I love it. And then with economic development projects also within the community, we got to look at trying to bring more money into the community so we can do other things within the community, whether it be in education or housing or other initiatives, that are discussed and then part of the community plan. So we move forward in that way. And also I will continue to work hard for Fish River. I always worked hard throughout my life. I was brought up in working and loving one another and working together. I'm a team player, and I just enjoy the work that I'm doing right now, and I'll continue doing that. And all I can say is I'll promise I'll work very hard. So on August 23rd, I ask for your support again for the next 2 years. Amos C.
Good morning. I'd like to first of all introduce myself. My name is Shirley Cochrane. Born here, raised here, worked here in Fish River all my life. First of all, I'd like to thank Nora Jean Malik for the nomination, as well as Marlowe Cochrane for seconding that nomination. As most of you all know or are aware of, I had the honor and privilege of serving 4 years as your council member. I tell you that experience was awesome from my point of view. It was challenging sometimes and also rewarding. And to say the least, I believe that the elected chief and council have to work as a team. I strongly believe in teamwork. And if we're on the same page and we have the same goals of having a healthy community, more power to us, I think. And once we have the blessings of our membership, I look forward, if elected, to working with them again. I also would like to say that I would look forward to working with all the entities. Chief and council are blessed because we have entities and directors that work for the community in the best way possible. They have day-to-day administrative challenges, but I feel with the staff, the directors, chief and council, and support, I think we can go a long way. My vision for this community is to be healthy, prosperous. I think we've achieved that. But most of all, to be a healthy community. There's a couple of issues I'd like to speak about. I'm just going to briefly mention them. One of them being is the housing situation. When I mean housing situation, I mean the selection of people who get houses. I am aware that the Housing Committee has that task, be it being a challenging task, because I know we have a high number of young families that want to have a home for their children. I am thankful that we have committee members that are willing and able to sit on that Housing Committee, and I commend them for all the hard work that they do. And part of that challenge is looking at the point system. Years ago, I recall that the Housing Committee staff were directed by the community members to a band meeting to look at the point system, and at that time, there was a recommendation to have a committee be established of members who are interested in being on that process of selection and revamping the overall questionnaire as it relates to your eligibility this year or next year to get a house. But as well, I am aware that Fisher River is limited because we get the funding from outside, and we have to look at the proposals that are sent on an annual basis, and housing stock is determined by that. But also, I would like to also talk about another issue that has been brought to my attention on this campaign, is the overall drug dealers. What I'm hoping and meeting with the upcoming year, if I am elected, I hope to meet with the Chief and Council. Yes, Chief and Council meet with the overall suspected drug dealers and people that are using. But I feel we need to go a little bit further, and what I mean by that is that let's look at a task force, establish a task force of community members who are interested. And I want to talk briefly about my heart is with the elders, my heart is with the people with disabilities. We have to look at their needs as well. Being an elder, I consider myself an elder because I'm in my 60s. A couple more years, pension. But having said that, it's been lonely as an elder. We have to look at supporting our elders who are at home, who do not want to be in the personal care home. I know that families support our elders while they're at home, but let's look at a support system for our elders there. We have a lot of elders who are single, have lost their partners. I'm sure they need a friendly visitor once in a while, but let's look at strategies and help them so they can be independent in their own homes. Having said that, having said that, I ask for your support. Colleen's rushing me here, just kidding. I said 7 minutes is too long, but here I am. I think I just touched on briefly a few things. But anyway, I'd like to say thank you for the people who have encouraged me to run again. I look forward to another exciting year, if elected, 2 years. But I intend to work with all the entities in a good way. And I can say that I love you all, my brothers and sisters. Take care. Amos.
Tansei, Manasan Kalap. It's good to see you folks today. First of all, a big thank you to my nominator, Ben Mallet, and seconder, Ellen McKay. Really appreciate the confidence you have shown in me by nominating me to run for council. It's much appreciated. I'd also like to thank my wife, Pam, for her encouragement and support, and the rest of my family. Just a little bit of background, Pam and I have been married for 38 years and have Oh, somebody said whole A over there. We have 4 kids, Candace, Kristen, Ethan, and Lucas. Candace is a nurse up at the Percy E. Moore Hospital. Kristen's a teacher. Ethan just finished a media arts course, and Lucas works at Grand Medicine Pharmacy. We have 7 grandchildren. James, Alicia, Alexa, Brendan, Nolan, and Clarice. I have combined work experience of 25 years in education as a special projects coordinator and economic development as a director. I also served on the Board of Education. I am a good listener and have always treated people with the respect they deserve. What have I been up to lately? I left work about 3.5 years ago because my family needed me. Even though I loved my job, I would do it again to be where I'm needed. I also started babysitting my youngest granddaughter, Clarice. She needed to be 2 years old to get into daycare. And I thought I changed my last diaper years ago, but all is well. When she was almost ready for the daycare, the pandemic hit. Although I left my job, it felt like I was still working up at 7:30 every morning for the last 3.5 years, which was fine because I was where I was needed at the time. Not only was I babysitting, we both got up at 7 to drive my youngest son to work at the pharmacy in Hudson. Through rain, icy roads, snowstorms, and -40 weather, we still got up and went. My son got a job, so I was the driver as he did not have a license. And I'm still driving him today, this morning in fact, as well. He has since gotten a permit during my time off work. My son got accepted into the Mid-Ocean School of Media Arts. In the middle of the pandemic, he went to school. I ended up picking him up on Fridays and taking him back to Winnipeg on Sundays for 10 months as a show of support. He completed his course. I would do it all over again. Back to my work experience. I enjoyed working with and helping our people achieve their goals in education and business development and management. These positions have allowed me to gain valuable experience and knowledge that will be an asset to me as a member of council. These skills include the following: analyzing and understanding financial statements, budgets, financing proposals, business planning, strategic planning, communication, and community events. For example, I was part of a group that started the community celebration. And that was a wonderful thing to do, to see everybody come together. Public speaking and community presentations, just to name a few. My vision is to have a successful community. Let's take this journey together. We have an opportunity for all of us to focus on the future without dwelling on the past. A community in which every single one of us have pathways to health and opportunity. We can start this journey together. We all don't have to be amazing to start, but we can start to be amazing. Let the 5 cornerstone values of integrity, accountability, diligence, perseverance, and discipline be our guide. Every day we have a choice. Keep our old habits or start new ones. Moving forward from here, let's start some new ones together. Change for the better or continuous improvement is a business philosophy regarding the processes that continually improve operations and involve all employees. We work as one to bring different perspectives and capabilities together to achieve what matters most. Let's deliver the best of our collective thinking, experience, and solutions for the benefit of our people and community. Let's think like a nation, not a reservation. Together we are stronger. There is always a way. Our mission should be to work together to build a safe, respectful, and nurturing environment focused on maximizing each child and adult's sense of well-being and acquisition skills for life and learning. We must dedicate ourselves to create a workforce with 21st century skills, and a first-class environment for conducting business recruitment, retention, and expansion, while maintaining a steadfast focus on the quality of life for the membership of our community. Running short on time, so I just want to congratulate all the candidates that are running. Good luck.
Band members, why should people vote for me, Vince Crate? Being in leadership can be very demanding and stressful upon you. I want people to know I am in good health for my age. Fortunately, I am free of addictions and I have no real personal issues which would prevent me from going to work. I'm a counselor who goes to work every day. At the last election speech, I said I would do this. I am saying it again. We need candidates who get elected to go to work, especially when our staff and our frontline essential workers were going to work every day. After the last election in 2019, the October storm, many of us just stayed in the community and took care of the people here. Some had a difficult time for food, no heat, sleeping in the cold, no gas, communication or water. Hydro service has improved since that time. If another storm like that happened, we will need to be better prepared. Then COVID pandemic came along, we have to adapt and prepare. Leadership should have been on the radio more, reporting to the members, giving people updates and explaining the rationale for decisions made. I did my share of these reports to the members. There was facts to report on with documentation, and other times about just my own unscripted thoughts and advice about staying home and encouraging people to stay safe. This leadership will need to do more reporting to the members in the future. Updating the members is important, and also to assure people that things will be all right. There are initiatives you lead and chores you take on if no one else is working on them. Judging the mouth of the river is something I am working on. This part of the river is closing and has been for years. If we don't do something about it soon, you will not be able to get out of the river via your boats, and this will also have an effect on the fish population in the river. The Lake St. Martin Channels Diversion Project, which I lead, we need to pay attention to this because it could have a direct effect on our water table levels here in the community, as these aqueducts run underground for miles. Commercial fishing is part of our history and our culture, and it is facing threats to our existence all the time. If this industry falls, it'll have an effect on our whole community, as fishers will have something else. They'll have to do something else in order to feed their families. Being a commercial fisher, I definitely lead for council when it comes to protecting our fishing industry. The fish and meat packs that Dan gave away to members on reserve went well. When we did the giveaways in Winnipeg, the response from our members was overwhelming. Someone from council had to lead these initiatives for our off-reserve members when they took place. And remember, at that time, cases were high and it wasn't safe for us to go to the city. Well, I went and took care of this. These initiatives helped members get by. But next term, we need to do more than just fish and meat packs for our off-reserve members. There are initiatives which council works on together. The specific claim came to fruition this year. Many thanks to the people who have worked on it in the past, as their hard work has paid off. The land management code passed, and this will open up business possibilities for our nation. The East Road development proposal finally surfaced with Indigenous services, which will improve the roads. I helped and did my part in moving these initiatives along. I know a lot of people are not happy with leadership right now, and the community seems very divided. The last 2 years have been hard. People, it seems, had too much of one thing or not enough of another. I understand you're frustrated. So am I. We need to be united going forward. Our youth are most at risk of being influenced in a negative way. They need our help and encouragement to get them going and to do well. At some point, it will be the younger people who will be in charge. Listen to the guidance of your elders is my advice. Every band member is important. I hope you vote for Vince. Even if I may not know you, I am accessible and approachable. Any band member can get a hold of me if they wanted to. I would be happy to talk to you. My cell number is no secret. I will respect our discussion and help you to the best of my ability. I know some people may think, he didn't come campaign at my house, or what has Vince Crate ever done for me? I understand you may feel that way, and you are entitled to that. But I'm asking you, vote for Vince. We may not have had direct involvement or recent conversation, but I work hard for you because you are a band member. Chief and Council's duty is to protect Fisher River Cree Nation and put the interests of its members and the community first. Vote for Vince because I care about what happens. I am honest and there is no nepotism in me. I always try to do the right thing and make decisions with my heart. I don't know what the future holds. And these days things can change so fast. I do know I'm not going to be a public official forever. I realize my days as councillor could be numbered, but right now I have some unfinished work to do. That's the reason I'm seeking office again. I'm proud of Fisher River Cree Nation. It is an honor to be one of your elected officials. I sincerely, respectfully ask you, the band members, to vote for me, Vince Crate, in the election on August 23rd. May God bless.
Nancy, Fisher River Cree Nation, this is Kirkness, reminding you of the upcoming election for the position of Chief and 4 council members on August 23rd, 2021. I'm running for the position of council and I'm looking for your confidence and support in this election. I can make no promises. The only promise I can make is change. A change for our youth, a change for our elders, and a change for our on and off reserve band members, a change for a strong and progressive future for generations to come. I'm hardworking, dedicated, honest, and straightforward. I look forward to hearing any questions or concerns. Please call or text me at 1-204-308-2224. And remember, on August 23rd, 21, elect Cameron Kirkness for council. Thank you for your patience and your time. Amos C. That was my radio commercial I had. Now I have a few other things I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about, first of all, we need to set up a committee for our VLTs to better utilize that money. The VLTs we had for like 21 years now, and not one thing has been done for our youth out of it. What we could do is we set up that committee, we make sure to have people that have financial background. We have an elder representative and a youth representative. We could use that VLT money to make a splash pad and an indoor pool that can be utilized by the youth and the elders for water therapy. And both our schools and our surrounding communities, it'll pay itself off in time. Another thing I want to talk about is our elders. As I was visiting around, I noticed a lot of our elders are struggling. So we need to try to come up with a program that's going to help pay for their hydro bills, meat packs, and we can use the money that we're generating from the solar farm. Because right now we're currently selling that hydro back to Manitoba Hydro. So that's just an idea. Another thing we got to do is help our fishermen on and off the reserve. Fishermen that not only fish at Macbeth Point, but fish anywhere else. As long as you're a band member, you should be able to utilize the program. We got to set up a program where we can have our own loans program. like CEDF, same thing, take 25% out of your cash. That should be accessible to every one of us. Another thing I want to talk about was creating an off-reserve office for our off-reserve band membership in the city to better help them stay adjusting between jobs, simple services. Another thing I wanted to do if I get in is our land claims money. We got to set up a committee for that. We got to make sure that everyone has the financial background is there as well. So we could use some of that money after we come up with a couple of plans. We could bank it for a few years, get some interest, and we could get an urban land purchase, create a gas station, maybe apartment building, maybe Tim Hortons, something like that to create money. To not only use that money, but get build money doing that. So I wasn't prepared for this too much. I didn't know it was going to be recorded, but I just wanted to say that we need change, and the only way that we're going to get that change is by voting for it. We need at least 3 new councillors or a new chief and 2 new councillors. So remember that. The only way we're going to get change is by your support and your confidence. I thank you very much for this time. If you have any questions or concerns, give me a call, 204-308-2224, anytime, or leave a message on Messenger, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you very much for this time and this opportunity. Please support me in the next election on August 23rd, 2021. Thank you very much.
Nancy, my name is Delaney Mason. My parents are Nelson and Elaine Mason. My grandparents from Fish River are deceased Big Alec Annie Sinclair and deceased Manny Collins, widowed by his wife Emily Collins from Oregon. I am 46 years old, lived in Fish River for most of my life. I have been married going on 14 years to Andrew Mason. I have 5 sons, 4 grandchildren. I graduated with GED from Minot, North Dakota in 1995. I previously sit on the Fish River Board of Education. I stand before you, Fish River Cree Nation, as a candidate for council. A little bit of qualities that I carry and that I think will help me in this position if elected are. I am a trustworthy person, honest to my word. I give respect in everything that comes across my path. I am a compassionate, empathetic towards all. I have a huge heart. I am motivated and determined to get the job done. I am committed to my responsibilities with a drive and help whomever and whenever it is needed. Fairness and a team player is one of my guiding principles. I will not stand up here making promises to my community. However, I will promise if elected to do my best each and every day to contribute to the growth and progress in our community. I believe in transparency and accountability. I believe in fairness to all community members, on and off reserve, our elders, our youth, the gifted, and the middle class working people. The 4 main topics I have, one being the drug problem in the community. Second is education. Third, elders and youth. More things for the youth have to be done, like a new drop-in center, more activities like the splash pad, more play structures throughout the community, not just in the central area. My 4th one is housing. One of my visits, people were talking of change, and the only way that can be changed is that we need the community members to vote for different people on their ballots. 1 or 2 new candidates won't bring change because there is a chance that they can still be outvoted by a quorum. Their vote matters. I do not see being in this position as a community council member as a job, but as a great privilege and opportunity to help the community. If you have any questions or concerns, please not hesitate to reach out to me. I'm approachable. At this time, I'd like to thank our present chief and council for their hard work and time they put into our community. I'd like to wish luck to all the candidates running in the upcoming election. Let us remain the humble community that we are. I'm going to leave with a quote from one of our elders in the community. People have the power to control the people in power. So on August 23rd, vote Delaney Mason for change. Take a seat.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the Candidate Information Forum. I'd like to start by thanking my nominator, Noreen Kim, and seconder, Noreen Mallett. My spirit name is Eating White Bear Woman. My English name is Sharon Monkman. My parents are Diane Lee and the late Kevin Monkman. My mom's parents are Esther Ellen Lee of Fisher River and Henry Collins of Pine Dog. My dad's parents are Edith and Lindsay Monkman, also from Pine Dog. I grew up in Leaf Rapids, a small mining community in northern Manitoba. After graduating from Leaf Rapids Education Center in 1995, I moved to Winnipeg, where I raised my two girls. I worked for 9 years in manufacturing and then decided in 2006 to go back to school. I started and successfully completed the occupational safety program at Red River College. I then started working as a safety officer for 7 years, where 4 of those years were in part of human resource. I completed various other courses through Red River College to keep up with my computer skills. I also acquired my first aid and CPR instructor certificate as part of my job as a certified and trained employee. In 2013, I had my son and decided that city life was not for us. We moved to Fisher River that year and have been here since. I started working on call at the Cousitac Post Office, then took on other on-call positions in Fisher River to make full-time working hours so I could support my family. The opportunity came for full-time work when the Jordan's Principal Initiative started. I worked within that department for 3.5 years at the Fisher River Health Center. I am now the diabetes support worker at the health center, a job which I love. I spend some of my time volunteering in a local program that supports the community, which I also enjoy doing. Our community has been through a lot these past 2 years, the snowstorm and evacuation in October of 2019 being one of them. I was already in Winnipeg that week for a conference, and I was stranded there when all the snow hit. I took the initiative to find out where our community members were in Winnipeg and spent my days at the convention center helping where I could. Even after my family made it out of Fisher River, I was committed to support our community members. I understand the uncertainties people go through when suddenly being displaced from their homes and community, which is why I made it a priority to help and support where I could. Months after that, we entered a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic, which left us all with unanswered questions and concerns. I was fortunate enough to have been able to work throughout supporting our community in different ways, such as assisting the vaccine clinics and organizing community events to include all age groups, just to name a couple. What do I bring to the table? I feel that my skills, which include critical thinking and problem solving, and my beliefs in fairness, equality, and honesty, contribute to me being a worthy contender to be an elected official for council. Being an active community member has enabled me to become more knowledgeable of both services and challenges we all face on and off reserve. Living in Fisher River has made me aware of the many wonderful things all our organizations have been doing that need to be celebrated. These also come with challenges that need to be worked on to progress in our community. I'm willing to work hard to see that those challenges are met. I'm also a firm believer with the mission statement of Fisher River in making our community progressive and self-sustaining while recognizing that our treaty relationship is paramount. I'd like to add that I will be a voice for all membership on and off reserve. So on August 23rd, 2021, I ask for your support. Make your vote count. Thanks again for listening in. Take a seat.
Fisher Recreation members, my name is Cory Murdock, and I'm one of the candidates for council. First off, I'd like to thank Sinclair, my nominator, and Irene Murdock, my seconder. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate the support and the confidence. And I'd like to thank my wife, Sonia, family and friends for their continued support and help in this campaign up to this point. And I'd like to thank homeowners who allowed me to enter their homes in this uncertain time. I know it wasn't easy allowing people to visit you. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. I want to let everybody know that my intention for council is to help. I want to be the voice for the people. I want to be there firsthand. I want to be there to help you voice your concerns, bring it to the table. Through these visits, I've heard various excellent ideas, concerns involving everything around Fisher River. I appreciate it. Everything I heard will not be forgotten. And hopefully we can address those issues when the time arises. One concern that I was interested in was mental health issue that we're having now because of the COVID pandemic. I know with that and school starting up, education, we're going to need more help and support, utilizing mental health people in any way possible. And with that, that's another thing about helping, hearing your voice and concerns, bringing that forward to the table. Also, I want to talk about the housing in Fisher River. I have been in various communities around Manitoba, north, south, central Manitoba, and speaking with different individuals, councilmen, chief, project managers, housing managers, learning valuable information on how they address their concerns in their communities will be a useful tool to bring to Fisher River. And that's the kind of information that I'd like to bring back. And being a hands-on type guy my whole life, I'd like to, that's why I want to be in depth with the community. And I can help in that way. And I'm hoping on August 23rd, the 20th and the 23rd, we're hoping to see everybody out to vote. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Fancy, Jake with CP. My name is Dana Michael James Murdock, and I'm running for council of Fisher River Cree Nation. I'm 39 years old, and I've been with my wife Tara, my beautiful wife Tara, for 14 years. We have been married for 9 years and have two wonderful children who are 10 and 12. I currently reside in Winnipeg, in Fisher River, but have spent several years working and training in Winnipeg, Manitoba, allowing me to be an experienced advocate for those living both on and off reserve. I believe an elected official should not follow his own agenda. I'm not here to make empty promises and lay out a plan that I believe is the right cause of action. No. I'm here, if elected, to voice the concerns and opinions of all the residents of Fisher River Cree Nation. Sorry, I'm kind of nervous here. Now, not everyone is going to be happy with the decisions made by our leaders, and I commend those who have stood up and requested the responsibility of leadership despite the inevitable backlash. And those I've worked with and those I've worked for know I am more capable of such a position and will treat the honor with the utmost respect. I understand the public wants to see extra initiative during campaigns, but I believe a real leader should be measured by more than just how many doors they knock on come election time. Those who are entrusted with vital roles should be considered by all aspects of his or her life, not just by action taken 1 month prior to an election. From a young man, I was always working. As soon as I was allowed, that's where all young men from Fish River should be, on the lake. And since then, I've continued to expand my resume and work history in various roles in and out of the community. The thought of quitting and walking away from any position I put myself into was never an option. And it's sad to see too much all these days. I'm thankful for today and my current situation, and I've always lived by my life by this quote. Work hard, be a good person, and good things will happen. I feel I've been blessed, and now I request the opportunity to give back to my community in a leadership role. Take a sign.
Hi, Nancy, Fish River. Thank you for your time, for participating in one of the most public job interviews ever. I'd like to thank my nominator, Mariah, Amos, and Kailey Arthurson. My name is Faye Murdock, or Faye Murdock. My parents are the late Colin and Myrtle Murdock. I have 7 children, 6 adult sons, 1 young daughter. I studied at the University of Manitoba for 2 years in the Aboriginal Community Wellness Program, which gave me the self-awareness of myself and community. I'm a certified health curate and also certified in life skills training. I come from a very humble background and upbringing. Elected or not, I still hope the concerns I speak of will be taken into consideration. One of the things is one of our original instructions or our laws as Indigenous people is to help or assist those furthest behind in our community. Rather than to watch others struggle and try to understand where these struggles come from. If we help those furthest behind, I feel that there will be less negative energy and then less conflict in our community. Another big issue is the gap in housing. As we become adults, we all need our own space. It's also a treaty right to have our own home housing. It's not a prize. It's not a prize you win for writing in the most letters. It's not a prize you win for scoring the highest on an application. On an application, that doesn't even apply in the final decisions. We still have 40 and 50-year-olds still living at home with their parents. We have elders that will probably never even experience or have never ever experienced empty nest syndrome, because of the housing issue. We need to stop pressuring our young people or our young adults once they come of age to not to pressure them to that they need to produce children or have a marriage license to get a home. That's not a reward. It's a tree rate, because that was me at one time. I used to feel like that. I used to feel like, oh, we gotta have kids, you gotta get married, and I used to hear that all the time. But that's not the fact. Also, our community members who have mental health disabilities also need their own space to learn responsibility and to become more independent. They deserve those new chapters in life too. Their feelings don't stop once they're diagnosed. They still feel, they still have these needs. If we could do something for healthcare, orthopedic equipment for those at home to make life a little easier. One big thing I'd like to see is the wheelchair ramps on homes, the option of it. This will benefit people, with bad knees, like that just came out of surgeries. People in wheelchairs will never ever have to second guess if they can have access to a home or a business. They'll never have to second guess. They can just go visit anywhere they want. Consistency is needed in our programs. Just to feel that inclusion, like with the wheelchair ramps. Yeah, I'm going to blank here. But if you could do anything about our education, I hear the disappointment from our young people, the very young people, like the kids that are still in school. They talked about their music room that they were once excited about. They talked about how they were excited about the instruments, the things they wanted to try, and then now it's taken away from them. And then I wish for that to come back and to give them back that option. Let's see. I hope for in education that we can revise the history knowledge from an Indigenous perspective, keep our community up to date with current issues, not just in the community, but outside of our community as well. More land-based. The need for a cultural center or lodge. Culture is fundamental to language. Because we're called Fisher River Cree Nation, and then if we lose our language, then we're just going to be Fisher River and, not a Cree Nation. We need visuals in our community for our language, like stop signs and, our titles on our buildings, I think maybe it's important maybe for the Cree language to be the bigger writing and then the English in a little small print. And for it to be like everywhere, so it stays in our head and it's like, sticks in our mind. What else do I have to say here? Maybe utilizing our elders and then the people we have around here, to maybe give our elders to also that for our cultural center, a lodge. I feel it's important because every time we have a ceremony or something, it's always like use a community hall or the school, but we're always limited to something. It's just like we can't go fully right out on doing our own thing. It's always like a limit, we can't. But if we had our own thing, then it's just like a safe space for learning. To relearn ourselves in a good way in a safe space for our need for our culture and language center. Other little things I'd like to touch up on is, things that people, I hear them talking about, like commercial fishers, our fishermen and our fisherwomen. They used to be held in such high regards, and now only some receive help. We got to try to help all our fishers because they all belong in this community. Just because some of them are signed up in one certain group, this doesn't mean that only they get help and then these ones are left out. That just doesn't even feel right. It doesn't even look right. That's that's a lot of hard work working on Lake Winnipeg, because I used to work on Lake Winnipeg. I used to be a fisherwoman. And then other thing is, I hear people talk about is our solar farm. I really don't know what's up with that. I wonder what are we waiting for? We had such a great summer, with barely any rain. Things like that. But anyway, thanks for your time.
Fisher River Cree Nation members, I want to start off by thanking my nominators, Sunny Cochrane and Rob Selkirk. Also a huge thank you to my daughter Winnie, my parents, my Aunt Teresa, and many others who have supported me thus far. Because my community is important to me, as it is to you, here's a highlight of some of the issues that are important as I ask for your vote in council. Over my career in Fisher River and collaborating with many other programs within our organizations, it is apparent that there is very minimal supports for our men. Our women and children have supports such as the First Nation Healing Center, Jordan's Principle, just to name a few. Our men heal differently than women. Our men need space of their own to heal, and whatever that may be, I will continue to advocate, as I have already been doing, for a space for our men to heal, whether it be a lodge, just as long as it's a space for our men to go to. Moving on to our boards within Fisher River, hearing that people aren't happy with the board structure and processes that are occurring. I believe the success of an entity reflects on how the boards are being managed. Are the employees feeling supported? What is the success rate of that entity? Is there equality within that organization? In order to run an effective board, processes are required to provide better support to our local boards. I propose on revamping our board structures, such as an application process, that meeting certain requirements and having knowledge of the entity prior to sitting on the board. Moving on to housing. Housing is going to be
is one of the biggest and will always one of the pressing issues for our community. One of the most overlooked is assisted living options for people with disabilities. I propose on looking for additional funding options and living options that will benefit this group, whether it be a tiny home on family land or create a communal living with supports that are easily accessible. Also look into tiny homes for singles and families that are wanting to downsize or in transition. Also to save costs on homes, on creating one-level homes, as we know that basements are very expensive. If we do with basements, create more homes. Addressing our justice system. We have the capabilities of addressing our own issues before it reaches provincial court. We can be proactive in dealing with our issues at a grassroots level, such as healing circles, restorative justice, which are already in place, but there's more room for enhancement. Also advocating for our Slinky building to be built for our safer community. We know that it's already in the works, but for it to be built sooner. Also propose on having our own tribunal court. Our community is more than capable of having our own court system based on our beliefs. Moving on to our youth, we need to allow our youth to feel heard. We need to listen to them and hear what their needs and wants are. What is the vision that they'd like to see within our community? I've heard some of the ideas from some of our youth and their greenhouses, sliding hills, outdoor rinks, restructuring our drop-in, visual arts, and online gaming tournaments, just to name a few. I propose on creating a platform for our youth, for their voices and ideas to be heard and taken seriously. Listen to the youth, for the youth. During the pandemic, one of the most challenging situations was for our educators. Our educators do not feel supported. Because of their role to take care and educate our children, their mental health and wellness is a priority. We need to look at a more effective process to provide support to our education system. Also propose on implementing a stronger land-based and Aboriginal law program into our curriculum. Because knowing the history of our people will empower us and empower our students as they enter into the world. Lastly, I want to thank everyone for taking the time to listen to everyone's speeches, as it is a very important time to be choosing our leaders for the next 2 years. Over the duration of my campaign, I hear that we are wanting change, and I hope I am a part of that change. On August 20th and 23rd, I'm asking for your vote. Thank you. Take safe.
My name is Josh Sinclair. I'd like to start by saying it's been an absolute pleasure and a true honor to serve my community for the past 2 years. It's been challenging and greatly rewarding. I accepted this new role and hit the ground running and learning on the fly with help of the rest of the council, our directors, and our supporting staff. When campaigning the first go-around, I recall visiting the late John McKay, and he mentioned to me that they can take up to my full first term to learn the ropes and get comfortable in a position. And he was right. It did take some time for me to learn, I feel comfortable now and confident in my new role, and on August 23rd, I'd like to keep this momentum going. If re-elected, I will continue to work wholeheartedly to be a strong advocate for our people and pledge to work alongside all levels of leadership, including band entities, elders, youth, and community members on and off reserve, to continue to move our nation forward. I am a firm believer of inclusion and bringing everybody to the table to have open, honest, and healthy, meaningful conversations to address our social issues we presently face in our community. One such issue is with our drug enforcement policies. I would like to continue to work on and advocate for stricter and tougher actions in this area. We need to send a clear, strong message to the dealers in the community that they are not welcomed here. One project currently underway is working with our neighboring communities of Peguis and Tino Dishnagan, along with members of the RCMP, to create a drug enforcement committee with members from both nations. My hopes for this community is to have each community enforce each other's BCRs to further push dealers away from our great nations. Another issue I presently see is in the area of communication. Although our team does a great job on utilizing our social media pages and websites, there is a large number of community members who don't have Facebook, let alone access to our internet. We have some great resources here within the community, such as the radio station. That it's currently being underutilized. Moving forward, I'd like to push for my fellow council members, our directors and managers, our finance team, and our various working groups to give regular weekly updates on the radio station. One other thing that I see that we can do a better job on is when community members bring requests to leadership and our directors and managers. I think we need to do a better job on acknowledging those requests and getting back to people in a timely manner. Another kind of big area that needs improvement is our housing. I know funding is quite limited in this area, and it's definitely challenging to address the great number of housing requests that we receive. I think it's time that we either get rid of the point system or explore other options on housing selection. One idea that was pitched to me was let's do a lottery system where we'll have different categories: large families, medium-sized families, small families, singles, and elders, and we'll group each accordingly. This will in turn be an absolute fair process, but at the same time it'll put everybody on the same playing field. I guess I know, come every election, all candidates will talk about our youth and how there needs to be more done. I truly believe that we have a lot of great programming in place for our youth. We have various sports in the community. In the past, I've seen arts and crafts programs. Presently, or in the future, I'd like to see some music programs and possibly some boys and girls clubs. We have many talented individuals in the community that can help run these programs for our youth. I'm saying that my heart will always be set to make a better community for our youth, but we can't forget our elders as well. They're the pillars of our great community. I'd like to see more programming and help available to them. We have some of the ideas again shared with me are to have more social groups for them. Let's have elders outings. Let's get our elders in the school to help pass on some of their knowledge and to help teach the language to our youth. I guess in closing, I'd like to thank all of our support. I'd like to thank you all for the support and guidance you showed me for the past 2 years. I'd like to thank my family for their encouragement to continue down this path. And I'd like to give a huge thank you to my nominators, Julie Murdock and Dwayne Sinclair. And I'd like to also wish all the other candidates good luck on their campaign, and just send out a small reminder to continue to be safe. We are still in the midst of COVID, and we must be diligent on our continued awareness and safety. I guess in closing, if you would like more information on myself, you can feel free to visit my website at joshsinclair.ca. You can have access to my contact information there. There you go, safe. Thank you.
Okay, good morning to the people of Fisher River, elders, young people, friends, family. My name is William Sinclair, and I'm the son to a friend, Kathy Sinclair. And I've been asked by quite a few people from our community to just consider running for council. And I've been in Fisher River my whole life, except for education. And for me, Fisher River is a place to be because I just love the people here. I just love, our community and I can see it's a thriving community. And I just wanted to share a couple of things here first before I share the mission of what I'm about here. And as for many people in Fisher River know, I really have some strong values, that's been instilled by my parents, grandparents, even my peers, so I tend to take values from the people I learned from over these years, and they're still a part of my life, to honor these values, and just carry them and never lose sight of what has been given to you. I'm a single father, raised 3 kids, still raising 3 kids, and there's beauty in just raising our kids. And for me, I guess that's one of my focuses right now is children as well. And I'm just thankful just to be here. And I want to do my best to serve the community, not to serve myself, but to be here for the people. And one of my missions is to work with the current chief and council that are elected or re-elected, and also to provide a good governance based on who we are as a First Nation or as a Fisher River people. Whether it's Christianity or traditional teachings. So these are part of our values of who we are as Fisher River people. And to honor the values that are stated in our mission and to be a role model to those values. And for 20 years, or might as well say 25 years, I've tried for myself anyways is to honor those values as a Christian person, as a Christian man. To walk in integrity, to walk in transparency, just to be real and to let everybody know who you are. And this is what I want to do, is to honor the values, again, that are stated. We have a mission stated in our community, in our band office as leaders. So I want to still kind of hold and honor those values that are already established for not only just the leaders, but for our community as a whole. But also to provide opportunities for our own people, to nurture them, to support them, and to create a safe and healthy environment for our community as we continue to move forward, as we continue to strive to build even the numbers of our people. So this is how we always have to keep moving towards that, to nurture and support and create a safe and healthy community for our people. And not only that, but to instill pride as a community member and never be ashamed of who we are. And for me, I really think I'm very thankful that You know, when I go to different communities, different places, people ask like, where are you from? And when I tell them where I'm from Fisher River, you know, they either heard of it or they mention like a certain person from our community. So yeah, you know, it's all about taking pride as a community member, for foremost, you know, and never be ashamed of who we are. And you know, we have to still continue to build and exercise strong leadership in the best interest of our community. And I've been hearing the people's hearts, hearing the elders' hearts, just hearing even my children, just hearing their hearts. You know, so I know we need leaders. And I know we have good leaders too right now. I know we have good leaders. But we need some like new leaders as well to help build and exercise that strong leadership that's already there in the best interest of our people. It's always putting our people first, never about ourselves. And there is no I in team. You probably heard that before. Like if you look at the word team, you're not going to see no I in there. So it's not about yourself. It's not about ourselves, but it's all about everybody. We work together. So there's no I in team. We work as a team that will continually make decisions in the best interest of our people. The people of Fisher River. We need to be able to provide employment opportunities. And I'm very thankful when I see the website. We see these opportunities coming, you know, so that's showing that there's employment in our community. So we still have to continue and build on that to provide employment opportunities for all members, not only on reserve, but off reserve as well. Because we're still a member of this community. We're all one. We need to effectively continue to promote, maintain, and protect the rights of our people. That should be up there. We need to continue to maintain and protect the rights of our people, the sovereignty of who we are as a First Nation people. And we need to focus on opportunities. We need to focus on opportunities, never on problems. And I always have a saying, when I feel discouraged, it's when I take my eyes off something, when I take my eyes off the source. So we always have to find an opportunity, never focus on the problems. You see, leaders rather follow. Leaders would actually lead rather than follow. And we need to have as for leaders, we need to have a high standard of conduct and performance. So as to making a difference, an example for all people. You know, so that's a must. We have to set a standard for ourselves that's a little bit higher. Doesn't mean that we're better than anybody else, but we just have to set that standard, you know, and make a difference and be that example for not only our own families, but for our community. Okay, thank you. Miigwech, and God bless you.
Good afternoon. My name is Darrell Thaddeus. I'm seeking re-election for the position of councillor. First of all, I want to thank my nominator and seconder, Virginia Grabowski and Jeanette Thaddeus. I'm seeking election for one of 4 positions in council. Just to go back in a little bit of time here, and the start of our term in the last couple of years, everything was going as we expected until, I guess, the October storm. We gotta mention that, one of many challenges we had through the past 2 years. A storm like no other, first time we've ever had something like this that caused significant damage. And you know, I want to thank everyone for their part and who helped out during that storm to make sure that people were safe. And as people transitioned and evacuated to Winnipeg, I think being there as a council member was very important to support our people in Winnipeg. So I also thank the people that took their time, that went out to support our people in the city as well. And as we were moving along with the October storm and the renovations, you know, it wasn't too long after that we were faced with a different crisis. And that was the pandemic that is now here with us. And it's all over the world. We want to move our projects forward, but doing so in a safe manner is one of the goals that council, along with health and the nurses and the frontline workers, who from day to day continue to keep people safe in our community, and a big thanks going out to them as well as our teachers who go out of the way to also keep our students safe, and our elders for their prayers, and the spiritual people that keep us going. One of the things that we have on the council agenda, of course, is housing. We had a goal of reaching 20 homes, but we're one short, so we're just about there. But we still continue to have proposals in for renovations. Like in 2019, we had close to $1 million in renovations, also $1 million for new builds and housing. And we have also invested more money into renovations and housing. So also we want to have a community meeting again with the membership on looking at the way housing is selected. And I want to thank the committee for the recommendations, but the ultimate goal for deciding who gets a house, it's council, and we have to work together to make sure that everyone has a home. Education, we continue to work with the education board in their programming. I know that we got funding for back to school, also a significant amount, and also post-secondary support. And also we're also looking at renovating the Charles Sinclair School with a new roof and crawl space. In health, we're looking at achieving a new health center for our community. And with that, there's different programs in the health area, such as Jordan's Principle, that we have to review and evaluate. And the stakeholders that we need to reach out to are the families living with those special needs children. Economic development, we're putting money aside. We have the restaurant going here, not up and running yet, but soon to be. We've invested money through our trust to look at businesses in and around Winnipeg. We're also looking at a new daycare center for daycare space for those families that want to get back out in the workforce. Our police station, our RCMP detachment was reverted to the next fiscal year, and that's the next big project we're working on. Right now we're working on the East Road construction, which is underway. That'll be hard top, and it's all free money. It's a proposal that council went after, worked on it for 3.5 years, and we're showing what could be done with that hard work and dedication with all council members and our consultants that we work with. We're working on achieving our own CFS agency. We want to have prevention instead of apprehension, and putting supports in with the families that really need it. Economic development, I guess, also. We're looking at RV park down at the cottage lots, so that's another venture that we're looking at. Youth support, we want to start that youth support group and interviewing youth positions so that they'll have some experience in doing interviews and supporting them as well. We have a lot of things on the go, and just too much to gather and make you aware within this time limit that we're allowed. But I'm seeking re-election to continue our projects and work on them. And on August 23rd, I ask for your support on re-election. I'm committed to our community and to the people. And with that, I want to thank you all for listening, and again, August 23rd, I look for your support. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. My name is Barry Wilson, and I'm asking for your support to secure one of the council positions in the upcoming community election, August 23rd. I would like to thank my nominator, Jen Spence, and my seconder, Tina Hudson, for their support and belief in my ability to do this role. I am married to Crystal Kirkness, and we have 5 children and 3 beautiful grandchildren. My parents are the late Ada and Andrew Wilson. Some of the reasons that I feel that I'm a good candidate for this role is that I have 10 years of previous experience on council. I served on council from 1999 to 2005, and then again in 2011 to 2015. I'm currently the chairman of the Fish River Education Board and been in that role since 2017. I'm also a trustee on the Manitoba First Nation Casino Trust, and I've been appointed on that trust since 2015. I have my certificate in a Certified Aboriginal Financial Manager program, which is equivalent to a level 1 CGA, or as they're referred to nowadays, Certified Public Accountants. I'm open, honest, treat people fairly, team player, and hardworking. Things that I can help improve would be accountability and transparency. As community leaders, we have to show how decisions are made and share the information with our members to keep them informed and up to date, especially in the finance area. So if I'm successful, one of the first things that I want to try to do is do a financial review to see what do we have available to work with, and to see if there's any areas where we have to improve to deal with any type of issues regarding the finances of the community. The big thing for me is inclusion of our membership and entities in decision-making process. By taking advantage of our website, radio station, general mailouts, usage of the new Fish River Cree Nation portal to get the information out to our membership. I'd like to see that happen a little bit more in a timely fashion. That way the information is given to our members, so that way they have time to review the information and attend community meetings with questions, suggestions, or maybe even concerns. This way, instead of overloading them with the information the day of the meeting, I feel it gives the opportunity for you, the membership, to give leadership direction on certain issues. Sort of like I've seen a lot of comments on social media regarding the housing area, and I think that has to be brought back to the people to discuss and try to find solutions. Be an effective voice for our people. To be that voice that ensures our membership is treated fairly, whether it is in negotiating with different levels of government or within our own entities. I will make sure that you, the member, are treated with respect and treated fairly. On the economic development front, I would like to continue to show my support for our fishers. I want to include all of our fishers, as not all of them are fishing at Macbeth. So in that way, maybe with the province trying to do license buyouts, the community buys those licenses and leaves them as open limits for our community fishers. I would also like to use my education to better support small business and potential new small businesses, and working with the Fred Corporation to identify new opportunities here in the community and off-reserve. As the chairman of education, I feel that is a big tool that can be used to further our development and our progress as a community. With the Head Start daycare program being under the umbrella of education now, I think that could be one area where we can actually make an improvement in revitalizing the language program, as parents of children in the Head Start program would have to take some sort of training while their children are in that care. For our off-reserve members, I would like to see that we establish some off-reserve offices, so that way we have a place to meet with our off-reserve members, and another way of keeping them informed of what's happening here in the community. And maybe it's a place where we could, like I said, have face-to-face and see what more services or programs can we do to help our off-reserve members. The big thing, I think, too, is our community needs to go through healing. With the recent findings of residential school unmarked graves, I think it revived triggers in residential school survivors, but it also created new triggers for our young people, as they seem to be very angry, and like me myself, it made me upset, even though that I wasn't a residential school survivor or anything, but it still made me upset. So I think that the healing, and it's funny that the government just made a recent announcement in the last couple of weeks about funding available for healing and support programs, and I've seen on social media some of our members asking for men's wellness programs. So I think that it encompasses everything: men, youth, our women. There's a lot of healing that needs to be done. The last thing I'd like to say is that the pandemic has been has made this very hard to go out and do campaigning, because of the fact that people want to be safe. So if you want to have, I'm fully vaccinated, and I am practicing the safety protocols. So if you want a phone call. If you want a phone call, my cell phone is 204-308-1236. And I thank you for giving me this opportunity to speak to you today. Thank you.